What's up guys, Huso7 here, and today I'm covering some of the patch notes from Game Update 4 in Titanfall. And so this time I'm showing off some of the in-game changes, so we're going to start specifically showing off the new featured game mode, which is Marked for Death. So in this game mode, you'll see right when we drop it off the ship here, it's going to mark two random players, one on the friendly team and one on the enemy team, and you'll see in this particular clip, I happen to be the target that gets marked. So you see that you get that little red glow on your screen highlighting that you're the target that's been marked, and when you're the target that's been marked, all you have to do is outlast longer than the other target. So you see I'm just going to kind of stay around here in the spawn for a minute, and you also notice that I get the 200 bonus points for the time that I stay survived as the marked target. The enemy team mark went down before I did, so I also got that 100 bonus, and we scored 1 point for that. In order to score points in this game, you have to have your team kill the mark before the mark on your team dies. So you'll see up here that we get our targets marked, and you can see that there's a shield for the target we have to defend or guard, and the target that we have to kill has the reticle next to it. So our target up here, you see, is kind of just standing on the roof, about to get sniped. I tried to get on the roof and help him out, but didn't help. So you see that the IMC is going to score 1 point there because they killed their mark first before ours. So it's basically just a race to see who can get that first kill. Alright, if you look at your HUD, you'll see it'll identify which players in the game are your friendly and your enemy mark. So as well as highlighting them with those insignias, you'll also know their game tags for those. So you want to try and track down these players as soon as you can. You see the game can go by fairly quickly in this. We're already up 2 points in this moment. I'm also going to cut to a time when right here I get marked. You see it'll tell me that I'm going to be the next target, and I just narrowly escape death. You see I run right here, and then there's enemies, so I just turn around and run away. But what I want to show you is that the mark gets killed right there. It says that I outlasted, and I die just seconds after, but it doesn't matter. As soon as the enemy's mark is killed, your team scores the point, and the new marks reset. Even if the other player needs to respawn, like you can see on the screen right here, it's waiting for the target to respawn in after that. In addition to Mark for Death, the new game mode that's been added, they've also added all new burn cards specifically for Titans. So you see they've got amped Titan weapons, just like the amped weapons that you can play with as a pilot. You now can get, for example, magnetized triple threat grenades, or you can get electric rounds that deal greater damage to enemy shields. Various specialized roles for these amped weapons. In addition to, for example, there's an amped vortex shield or an amped particle wall. So any of those Titan weapons or abilities that you can use will now all have amped versions of them that you can unlock as Titan burn cards when you're going to be dropping into the game. Another major change implemented in this patch is a change to how teams are going to work and how matchmaking is going to work. So what I want to show you is this clip right here. This is just a still image from a Marked for Death lobby, and you'll notice that even though we're on the left and right sides, right now all of our names appear in gray, the text, and that's because they are not going to assign the teams until just seconds before the game actually starts. So in this next clip that I'm going to cut to, you'll see that now the teams have been reassigned. You see we've got the blue and the red text, we've got the militia and the IMC, and the names have been redistributed. So this is going to be based on that skill curve that, if you've been following any of the Titanfall blogs, all of the players are matched up based on a skill curve, and this skill curve is going to be sorted just moments before the game starts. That's going to ensure that you get more balanced teams, and you're going to have better experiences so that there's not just one team that's rolling all over the other teams constantly. So that's one of the major changes to how matchmaking in the lobbies is going to work. Also, I'm going to cut to another still image here of waiting in a Marked for Death lobby. They've also added, if you look where it says corporate, it'll show you your win-loss history. So you can see, since we lost our last game there, it says that our streak right now is 1 loss, but it'll show you your win-loss history for the last 10 games played specifically on this map and game mode. So that's really cool. You can see how your team has been or is performing, and I think that this information will also be used to rebalance the teams in the intermissions, so that way, with these name switches, that way they'll be able to have the best possible team on either side to ensure the most enjoyable games. Okay, let's talk about burn cards. In addition to extending the burn card deck significantly, they've also added a new burn card kind of reminder on each death. So I'll cut to this image right here. You'll see that coming up, I tried to get the drop on this enemy, but I ended up getting killed from the other side of the map. And typically, you know, it'd say push Y, but I'm going to hover on this image real quick, and what you can see is that now it actually gives you button selection. So you can push Y to indicate that burn card, and you can push left bumper to indicate that burn card, and it'll highlight the burn card, and then that one will be the one that's selected when you spawn in. So no more forgetting to use your burn cards. I know a lot of people were doing that, and so I think that this is a really great feature that they've implemented in order to help people remind them that they've got those cards on standby. I'm not sure what happens what the third button is, because I usually drop a burn card right away, so I'll have to play in another game and I'll let you know. My guess is that it's going to be right bumper, so it's left bumper Y and right bumper, but you can see those burn cards down there, and you can deselect it just by re-pushing the input button again. Another change is with your Titans and the things that they'll call out. In addition to being able to change their voice, which I covered in my first video, now their callouts will also be a little bit more detailed. I kept hearing my Titan AI say that it was, typically it would say that it's engaging a pilot or something, but now it'll say things like engaging a pilot on a roof or something. So it gives a little bit more detailed with the callouts, and also Auto Titans are able to use abilities. So I'm going to cut to this game clip right here where I slide down this, and you see that I'm coming up on an Auto Titan here. So Auto Titans are my favorite things to get in rodeo, because usually you can just kill them right away. But you see that while I'm on the back of this Titan, it's going to deploy its smoke. I actually get off in time, but that is a change that Auto Titans are going to use their abilities now, which is going to make them a little bit more valuable. I know before Auto Titans would go down right away, but now they're going to have a little bit better survivability with the addition of that change as well. Also, since it's showing in this game clip, you can be marked when you're in a Titan, and the enemy can be marked. You can also get a kill in Marked for Death with your Titan as well. Both of those are perfectly fine, and they both still count towards the end score. Alright, this is a smaller thing, but they've also changed the noise that happens, that plays for you when you get a crushed by Titanfall points. So you see I'm going to call my Titanfall in there, and I'm going to be quiet so you can listen real close. So if you hear that noise, that's the new noise that you get. It almost sounds like a Spectre or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but in the patch notes it mentioned that there's a new noise for getting a Titanfall crush, so I was excited that I was able to get one of those early on to hear and preview and show you guys what the new sound is. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about is this new reporting in the game summary. When a match is over, you see it'll show you that your typical unlocks. Now this interface looks a little bit different. You scroll through with the left and right bumper challenges just like you did before, but now it shows you kind of how many things you have unlocked. It's just a little like graphical update, but I personally think it looks really cool. But what it shows you is that you see I unlocked the Penny Arcade Titan insignia. So I covered insignias and showed some off in my other previous video, but something I wanted to show you was some in-game footage of where you can see the insignias on the Titans. So I had a hard time finding them initially until I hopped on and rodeoed some Titans, and I'm going to cut to two still images here where I'm on the back of them. You can see the 8-ball on this Titan, and you can see the, I don't know what that is, it looks like a skull or something on that. So when you rodeo a Titan, you can really easily see the insignias, and if you want more info about the insignias, be sure to click through to my previous video where I went over all of the menu changes, not in-game changes for the patch. So lots to report on today. It was a big patch that came out. I'll be covering all of the information, including the new achievements. You can also click on screen for that as well. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.